Welcome back to Tousi TV. This is your global news channel, and we come to you guys with some breaking news from the Middle East as the Iranian government plane has now departed from Tehran towards Moscow. It should actually be close to Moscow now. We are going to show you on the flight radar and the live map that we have. Also, within the next minute, within the next few seconds, we are going to go live to the Oval Office in the White House, as the president is expected to make an emergency announcement. This will be the national address, presumably to talk about the economic issues, of course, when it comes to the Federal Reserves and everything else that's happened with the markets. Cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, has been affected as well, badly. But we might actually expect him to also mention certain other things. So we're just going to go to the Oval Office for a few seconds to find out what the president is going to be talking about, whether it's the economy or other things as well. Before we do that, so while we are here waiting for our live feed from the White House, let's talk about what happened earlier. An unplanned last-minute flight from Tehran to Moscow. So this was around about 3 hours ago, around 6 p.m. UK time. This flight, and we're just going to basically put it on faster speed. It left the capital, as you can see on the top left. This is the Mirage Airlines of the Iranian government, official government plane. There are some speculations as to who might be on the plane, but we don't have the confirmation on this. But it could potentially be the Secretary of the National Security Council, as Ali Khamenei's Security Council. So this is basically the plane went up and went over Azerbaijan. And I think we're just going to go and see if it reaches Moscow or if it's still, because this is obviously behind. Well, we are catching up on time now to figure out whether it's still on its way or not. And obviously we're waiting for the White House as we speak. There we go, getting closer to Moscow. It should be landing there. I think it's probably landed now or just about to, because we're reaching, it's now 9 p.m. Getting close, getting close. Are we going to see the landing? Yep. And it's landed. Yep. So, oh, it's still flying. It's getting close. So now we are live. We're now officially live, I think. There we go. Go away. And it's currently here. There we go. It's about to land in Moscow as we speak. And as I said, there are some speculations as to who might be on the plane. Again, they didn't make this announcement because this was not arranged. This was a last-minute emergency flight. Ali Larijani is one name. Is essentially at this point the number 2 inside the Iranian, the Islamic Republic, the Islamic regime of Iran. He's the secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. And his family, some of them, including his children, live in the West. And it's not really a surprise. That's what they do. While their mummies and daddies are oppressing the Iranian people inside the country, the children of the IRGC are enjoying life. Now, President Trump made the announcement earlier during the cabinet meeting that he has now concluded that the airstrikes on the IRGC would not be enough, would not bring down the regime. Therefore, we are now expected that the first wave of attacks will be on the nuclear facilities as well as the ballistic missiles. But that's just the first phase. And of course, this is not really a confirmation of military strategy. This is just what they are briefing to the media. They might change their mind. It might just be a bluff. But it's likely that they would hit, especially the ballistic missile program first, because that they need to paralyze that in case the Islamic Republic plan to do any sort of attack on the state of Israel. We are still waiting for the White House, by the way. And I'm trying to see if we have any updates. They tend to be quite late every single time. I had a feeling, I thought they were going to be early this time, but they're not. But we also have the update from Karaj. Earlier on, there was a report that came out online, and we had to verify this, about a drone attack in the city of Karaj, to the south of it. We then had to actually double check this. So we have now verified this. Three separate sources have now confirmed that there was an attack, what appeared to be a drone attack. And this was in Karaj, hitting the residence of the IRGC's prosecutor in the area. Despite the initial rumors, apparently he has not been eliminated. So that's what we got earlier. That's the building. The Islamic Republic have now responded as saying that the prosecutor is still alive and he has not been harmed. We did get some intel in terms of the location of this attack. And of course, there's a lot of speculations as to who could be behind this. Let's not forget there's a lot of Iranian activists who have a bit of a vendetta against the justice system of the IRGC, especially after the recent show trials and the kangaroo courts. So it could be anybody really, anybody with a drone or explosives. But Mervila, in the south of the city of Karaj, was the main target. And this is near the Madar Square in Mervila. And that info, and of course, the fact that the prosecutor is still alive, it could also mean that this might have been a work of an amateur rather than, for example, Mossad operatives, because they tend not to miss. If they want to hit you, you are gone. So there are a lot of there's a lot of groups that would be targeting the IRGC leaders and prosecutors, obviously nuclear scientists, so many different type of individuals in Iran. And my guess is this probably was not necessarily a Mossad operative. This probably was just an Iranian activist. They have underground cells right now to fight back against the Islamic occupation. We'll get more information on this, of course, to get the confirmation that the prosecutor is actually still alive. According to the regime, he's fine. Nothing has happened to him. This was just an assassination attempt. But the army spokesperson, Mohammed Akrami, has also spoken out, saying that if President Trump thinks that he can carry out a quick operation and then tweet two hours later that it's over, there is no such thing at all. The war of words is escalating massively, this time actually from the Islamic Republic side, not even President Trump, which is fascinating. Let's quickly go to Mohammed Akrami and see what he had to say.
طرح‌های ابلاغی در واقع به این صورته که ما دیگه تعللی در پاسخگویی دشمن نداشته باشیم. در گذشته به هر حال طرح‌ها متفاوت بود، باید ارزیابی‌های صورت می‌گرفت، دستوراتی صادر می‌شد، ولی الان دستورات صادر شده، طرح‌ها تدوین شده، ابلاغ شده برای سناریوهای مختلف.
They want to remain calm as well.
دشمن میتونه و امکانش هست که در واقع اونها رو عملیاتی و اجرا کنه. ما برای سناریوها پاسخ مناسب و متناسب.
So yeah, that is essentially the narrative right now coming from Iran, that even if you try to do, I don't think President Trump at this point wants to do a quick slap, because he could have done that about 2 weeks ago. He called that off. But they really want to say that even if you do a tiny hit, then we will hit back. So if they want to do that, then as I said before, that is a suicide mission. Now let's go to Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War. During the cabinet meeting, he also spoke out about the Islamic Republic. The Americans obviously want to also be seen as this is like a game of counter chicken. So not like a normal game of chicken, it's a counter chicken, where the Americans have now cornered the Islamic Republic by saying that, hey, you can still talk to us, you know, do you want to make an exit deal, you know, some sort of surrender deal? Obviously, the Islamic Republic this time around said no, but Pete Hegseth once again mentioned that and said that, well, we are ready.
Well, Mr. President, you had to, like so many other cabinet members have referenced, rebuild the perception of America. And at the Department of War, that meant reestablishing deterrence. What happened in Afghanistan, what happened in Ukraine, a war that never would have occurred, what happened on October 7th in Israel, never would have happened under President Trump. So as a result, we're having to rebuild how our enemies perceive us. And when President Trump said, we're not getting a nuclear, Iran, you won't have a nuclear bomb, he meant it. And we sent those B-2s halfway around the world, and they never noticed. When he said, we're not going to tolerate trafficking drugs anymore in our hemisphere, we treat them like the Al-Qaeda of the Western Hemisphere, he meant it, and we're executing that. When you said, Mr. President, we're securing the border, the military was proud to do their part alongside Homeland Security to do that. Same thing with Iran right now, ensuring that they have all the options to make a deal. They should not pursue nuclear capabilities. We will be prepared to deliver whatever this president expects of the War Department, just like we did this month. No other military in the world could have executed the most sophisticated, powerful raid, not just in American history, I would say in world history. What those men did going downtown, another country, the most secure place in the most secure base in the middle of the night without anybody knowing until those simultaneous bombs dropped 3 minutes before the helicopters dropped. No other country could coordinate that. No other president would have been willing to empower those warriors that way to be that effective. And that sends a message to every capital around the world that when President Trump speaks, he means business, and we are reestablishing deterrence at the War Department.
Yeah.
Mr. President.
Thank you. Great job you're doing.
So the position is still the same from the American side. From the Islamic Republic, it's completely changed because they've been cornered massively over the last few days compared to the 12-day war just before that. Because just before the attacks on the Islamic Republic happened, both sides were playing the same game of, yeah, we're talking, yeah, everything's fine. And in fact, it was President Trump who was basically saying, yeah, we are very close to a deal. The Islamic Republic are very keen. And then they just hit. This time round, the IRGC decided not to take that bait. So they were the ones initially over the last day or so saying, we're not talking. It's done. It's over. We're not accepting the surrender deal. This is a terrible idea. We are ready. Although the last couple of hours, the vice president of the Islamic Republic has also come out to say, yeah, we're not talking. But we won't hit. If you hit, then everything changes. If you don't hit, maybe. Now, this is getting really weird because the messaging is very mixed from the IRGC side. For example, when you look at the situation with the foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, that we've been obviously talking about him a lot in recent days, Araghchi today held separate phone calls with different type of countries essentially begging for something. We don't know what it was begging, but it was begging. Because these countries included Qatar, Egypt, UAE, Pakistan, Oman, and Turkey. Now, they're not all in the same category. What was he talking about if this were the same conversation, right? Because, so you got Qatar in their own league, because they are basically IRGC's main ally in the region. Then you got Egypt, who are just a little bit dodgy. Then you got UAE. UAE don't really like the Islamic Republic, not really, frenemies. They also have a problem with Qatar because of Muslim Brotherhood. Then you got Pakistan, makes sense. And then Oman. And then the member of NATO, Turkey. The fact that they mentioned that these phone calls happened is fascinating. Because earlier on, two of those countries, that's Qatar and Oman, tried their best to talk to both President Trump and Ali Khamenei to get them to agree to not attack each other. Both Khamenei and Trump rejected that. So Oman and Qatar failed in their fake attempt to mediate, basically. By the way, no update from the White House yet, so we're still waiting as well. Not really sure what's going on there. A little bit dodgy now at this point, 13 minutes late. Usually about 5 minutes late, but the president is very late now. So these guys failed. But the phone calls that Abbas Araghchi was making was happening during that period. So it wasn't necessarily after. Now, we don't know what the plan is. We don't know what they're playing at. But Pakistan are basically saying, yeah, we'll defend the Islamic Republic. Sure, you can't even defend yourself. But, if you're going to think that, you can try to think that. But the others, we're not really sure exactly what they will be doing. The Islamic Republic propaganda mouthpieces, including Ali Raza Rafaipour, who is a pro-regime spokesperson, has a message to the Zionists. Oh, Ali Raza has a very, very important message to Israel. A very confident message. Oh, Jews, don't poke the bear. Let's watch this insane rant with English subtitles.
حرفم اینجا داخل پرونده به صهیونیستا بگم آخه شما فرض کن اصلا نظام سقوطی فرض محال خوبه اصلا بذار حال کنید با این حرف من خوبه فرض کن نظام سقوطی آخه احمقا این پاسدارا نظام سقوط کنه موشکاشون رو تحویل میدن به یه مثلا حکومتی که با شماها رفیقه میگن ببخشید ما دیگه تو جمهوری اسلامی کلی زحمت کشیدیم هزاران موشک درست کردیم شهرهای موشک دو دستی تقدیم میکنن یا به نظر شناختی من دارم که این حالا شما هم حتما شناختایی دارید که میگن داداش ما قبل رفتن بذار اینا رو تخلیه کنیم با هدف همون جغل جایی که رفتید گرفتید خب که اونجا شخم بزنن دیگه اصلا تا سالها موجودی نتون اونجا زندگی بکنه خب یا اینجوریه ما چی فکر کردید در مورد ما با یه جا توی که سخنرانی گفتم بابا برید خدا رو شکر کنید که 7-10 میلیون آدم تو این جمهوری اسلامی درگیر جمهوری اسلامی ان خب اینا اگه درگیر جمهوری اسلامی کار نظام باشه بیکار بشن که فقط به قدس فکر میکنن به آزادی قدس.
Hang on. Let me get this right. At the end, he was saying, well, it's actually in your interest because if we are not focusing on Iran, if we are basically, you were kicked out, we are going to come and destroy Israel and liberate Jerusalem. Your own professional proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah and all the others, have failed to do that. You think you're going to be able to do that? With mummy issues? Really? Okay. Well, Meanwhile, the most important update during this major update is this. This is very underrated and underreported. The United States have just flew the MC-130J. This is the Commando 2 aircraft. Essentially, they're from the UK to Azerbaijan. Essentially, what this is that this aircraft was developed for infiltration and exfiltration. So if you want to extract somebody using US Special Forces, you use this. Now, it's a very specialized multi-mission combat transport, essentially. So there's going to be a lot of people on that plane right now. And refueling tankers operating exclusively also by the US Air Force nearby. It's modified, and apparently they did say it's a variant of the Super Hercules, the C-130J Hercules thing that they have, which is also a massive, major aircraft that manages to take in special forces. That has now arrived in Azerbaijan from the United Kingdom. Now we can speculate, but you don't bring that thing in unless you have a plan. Last time we saw something like this with special forces, Maduro got picked up and was sent to New York. We can't guarantee that they would successfully, for example, extract Khamenei, but these guys have a very special set of skills. They're not your random soldiers. So I'm not really sure what they're planning, but they've also landed it in Azerbaijan, to the north of the Islamic Republic. And somebody in the live chat, it's fascinating, says, well, don't tell the regime, as if I'm the only one with somehow inside information to a secret live map of this aircraft. No, I can assure you, darling, the Islamic Republic are keeping a very close eye on what is going on in Azerbaijan. They have their trackers. They also have the public live maps as well. Everybody's keeping an eye on this. Everybody's talking about this now over the last few minutes. It's important. Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu, as we speak right now, tonight, is conducting a security assessment with top officials. What they call this is a limited cabinet. Essentially, not everybody was invited, but the top figures of the Israeli government, as well as the officials, IDF and all the others, are now in the meeting to have a secret assessment, essentially. So we'll find out what the Israelis are also planning in terms of self-defense, because obviously they're expecting the Islamic Republic to go a little bit insane and hit Tel Aviv. But the Islamic Republic are not doing too well because Iran is collapsing as a country, economically, financially, on every level that you can think of. Banks, at this point, you could probably call this a banking crash, because they voluntarily shut down the ATMs and cash machines during the uprising, since the uprising started. Their own currency collapsed. Now the banks are struggling with the cash crunch, because there are a lot of customers who are going to banks, to different branches, to try to pull their money out. As you do. When there's a crisis, you try to take your money out of the bank. But they're not doing that. They're not giving people's money. Earlier on, they imposed a limit, which was about 30 million rial per customer. It's nothing. 30 million is like, I don't know, £5, right? And it's about $18. So £15. $18, £15, something like that, right? But they've also stopped the limit. They're just not giving people their money. So I'm not really sure what they're thinking, if they think this is going to bring some level of stability, but they're running out of money themselves as well. Everybody's suffering, including the regime. Meanwhile, 8, yes, you heard it correctly, 8 US destroyers, as well as an aircraft carrier, are now positioned in the Middle East. Now, in case you're wondering how big this is, that's about 756 vertical launch system missile cells, or VLS missile cells that go up, ready to strike, or also to be used as defense against the Islamic Republic's retaliation, because a lot of them, including USS Delbert D. Black, is located near Saudi Arabia and Egypt. They are clearly having a more defensive role. And of course, USS Roosevelt, more defensive, right next to Israel. But you got USS Abraham Lincoln, to the bottom right, near the Gulf of Oman, just outside of Oman, and all the others as well. 8 US destroyers right now positioned near the Middle East. This is absolute insanity right now. So if the IRGC think that they can take out these guys, well, there's going to be more deployment, more reinforcements. You can't last against the American empire. But they will try their best to do as much damage as possible, not necessarily to the American troops, but to Israel, because their main aim is to wipe out the Jewish nation. For now, they've been busy wiping out the Iranian people. We are getting some unconfirmed reports, although some claim came from inside Iran, from the government, not fully confirmed by the officials, but one official basically said that the number of people that have been killed could be closer to 75,000. Now, again, there are a lot of crazy numbers being thrown away. It could be 75,000, it could be 60,000, it could be 100,000. But any official figure coming out of the Islamic Republic, you kind of have to multiply that by a number, because they would be playing it down. One of these guys, who is still fighting back despite the massacre, is one of the famous Iranian footballers, Mehdi Qaidi. Now, he literally right now, as we are getting close to the direct conflict, he decided to publicly back the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi as the opposition leader, and he started following him on Instagram. That's a very brave thing to do. He's no longer going to be being part of the Iranian national team to the World Cup, which will be this coming summer. Now, obviously, at this point, the way things stand, the Iranian national team will probably not go to the World Cup because it's in the United States. Unless the regime changes before that, then there is a possibility that you're going to see the new Iran, the new national team with the new flag, which is the old flag, going to the US, which will be extremely symbolic and beautiful and powerful. But for now, these guys are fighting back. Now, the Americans, the support from around the world continues to increase, while the liberals are attacking the Iranian people for wanting freedom, while some of the leftists, most of the leftists, are essentially defending the Islamic Republic, and some of the blue states in America, Texas stands out. Texas, the education system in Texas is doing a good job. This is Tompkins High School in Katy, Texas. The school children showing support to the Iranian Revolution. Go.
Free Iran! Free Iran! Free Iran! And free Iran, bro.
Free Iran.
Free Iran. Free Iran. Free Iran.
This is the high school, Thompson High School. Now, God bless Texas, by the way. Having said that, the IRGC are very busy. You have to be terrified. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Special Forces are holding training to defend against the Islamic aggressors, the American aggressors. Oh, that was a Freudian one. If you would like to see some inside footage from the training of the IRGC, let's watch. This is the funniest thing ever. Now, look at the guy on the left-hand side. Just keep your eye on the guy on the left. Trust me on this. Wait for it. Ouch. Can we go back to that last bit? There we go. There. And... oh! Ah, that hurts. Yeah. It's still down. Oh no. Well, he's not going to be able to have any more Muslim babies. Whoopsie. But, I mean, what was that about? Who thought that would be a good idea? Why would you stand behind a guy who's going to get hit with a stick? Are you kidding me with this? The level of IQ or lack of IQ is astonishing. So, be very, very terrified, guys. It's happening. The Islamic Republic is coming. All right, let's go back to... go away. There we go. Let's go to... oh, that plane has now landed officially in Moscow. The Iranian government plane has now landed. And we can now go back to our live map. Oh my God, what an absolute mess. Anyway, what do we have? We're waiting for President Trump as well. And at this point, I'm not really sure what's going on, because he's now almost half an hour late. What is this announcement? Because I assume this is going to be the Oval Office address. This is going to be about the economy. Surely it's not going to be, unless it's going to be making the announcement of the new head of Feds. So that would be, is he picking someone last minute? But he's now currently 28 minutes late. So I'm not really sure what the president is up to right now in the White House. Hit the like button, you fantastic lunatics. Don't call them lunatics. They're not going to like it now. Thank you. Love you. And Didn't know there are so many common words between Parsi and Hindi before. Realized it after hearing your favorite revolutionary song. Yeah, there are some old school names. I'm pretty sure both languages have the word dunya in it, which means the world or life. Or both. I don't know. Should mean the world. Yeah, the world. Yeah. Brain doesn't work. Dear, my greetings from Malta. Is President Putin Islamist supporters? Well, President Putin is Khamenei's biggest ally, so yeah. He's not an Islamist supporter. He does have a lot of Islamists in Moscow. There's a few million of them who just every now and then block the roads and pray in public instead of going to the mosques. There are hundreds and thousands of mosques they have in Moscow. Yeah, when it comes to geopolitics, it's not like normal people. The way normal people see things is black and white. So it's like, are you a Christian or an Islamist? Or are you an Islamist or are you not an Islamist? That's not really how it works in geopolitics. It's the same with China. China are very close to the Islamic Republic, but they kill Muslims, the Uyghurs, in China. It's not really being a friend of Islam or not being a friend of Islam. That's not really how geopolitics works. It's about alliances. Assad, Putin, and these guys are on the team Shia, not because they are Shia, but because the Shia side are against the Sunni side. And strategically, especially when it came to Syria and Iraq, it was about who controls the main interests and who would help China and Russia build their empire in North Africa, in the Middle East, against the American empire. Would you please turn on closed caption for all your videos? That's not how it works with live streams. It's not me turning anything on and off. It's not like a fridge. That was a terrible example. Like a switch. We're live. When it's live, it doesn't have closed captions. After the live stream is finished, after a few minutes, I think it's about an hour or half an hour after, YouTube uploads the recorded version of this, and then it automatically adds the closed captions. I hope that helped. Someone's needed it. Thanks for being a true news reporter. I appreciate that. Heard about the rumors of a silent civil war in China. Gunfire was heard in Beijing during the last 2 days. Lots of troops converted. Yeah, no, it's not a civil war in China. There is an attempt of coup d'etat in Beijing, which I don't expect it to be successful against Xi Jinping, but some people are going to disappear. The next few days will be key. Of course, we'll be focusing on that as things kick off. The IRGC slaughtered thousands, screwed diplomacy with them. It's not diplomacy, it's a surrender deal. Why is everybody freaking out about these talks? I was going to say this was my idea, but I did come up with it. Not that the White House are listening to me, they also know the same thing. But I said this 2 weeks ago. The United States needs to go right outside Iran, then tell them, would you like to talk? That's the only way to corner them. And they've already done it. They are trapped. These IRGC guys are such clowns. Don't threaten Israel with a good time. I know. What are you thinking? Where is the president, by the way? Hang on. FF's for F's sake, comedy gold, mate. Yeah. Let me just double check on the Oval Office. Nope. We have no idea where the president is right now. Okay. That doesn't help us. Anyway. Unless some emergencies happen and he has to postpone his national address. I made a new revolution song for you all on my channel. Poppy Snoot, check him out. Oh my god, the next super chat. You ready? It's Goldie. Play Verpiche. Or the translation, push on. Okay, well, we have to wait for the president anyway. In case you joined us late, we are expecting President Trump to make an address from the Oval Office in the White House imminently, about 32 minutes ago. While we wait for the president, let's go to one of our revolutionary songs with English subtitles. Bepish.
ایران غرق انقلاب است. کشور ما، تاریخ ما در سیدگر فرا گرفته، گویی اهورا مستا دوباره در نور خود مرا گرفته. اکنون سرودی سر میدهم باز فارغ از رنج و تشویش، راز و باماش و هنگام تا درد آن تجربه تلخ ما را نکشیده در خواب بگذار هر دم بغرند گرگ ها دم لباس میش ایران قرن انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران قرن انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ای کارگر ای برزگر راحت کنون ادامه دارد.
Right, okay, we might have to hang on. Okay, so just a quick thing, I have to interrupt this as we are getting a new update in terms of what is happening with the Americans because we can now confirm that F-35As landed in Portugal from the Vermont Air National Guard jets. They are now on their way to the Middle East. So that's also an additional, that's going to be interesting because obviously with everything that's been happening with the speculations around the bombers as well, the B-52 bombers who are also on their way apparently, there is going to be, again, don't listen to those who are telling you, we know something will happen tonight, right now. But I can now say, as of tonight, from now, for the next few days, for the next week, it could be any night. Now, I haven't been saying this until now because the last week, there's been a lot of crazy people on social media saying, oh, it's tonight, it's tonight, it's tonight. No. But as of tonight, or technically tomorrow, Friday, anything could happen, and it doesn't mean it will be the United States. It could be the Islamic Republic starting it first. But it's also likely that the United States might start it. So anything from the next few hours, which will be Friday, doesn't necessarily mean it will be now or tonight, but it's highly likely some stuff might kick off soon. IRGC bringing in a stick to a gunfight, literally. That's not even a metaphor. My city, Ormia Lake, looks like the United Kingdom. Oh, it does, doesn't it? That's quite interesting. How do I not know this? I've only just realized. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the lake in Ormia. That literally looks like the United Kingdom. That's hilarious. I mean, without the Irish part, but no. It looks like Great Britain. Yeah, not the United Kingdom. That's hilarious. This also looks like my living room. I don't know why there's a random corridor, but you know. That looks like something else actually. Okay, let's not play that game because we'll be here all night. Did you hear in Germany a Jewish actress was excluded from a film and she is too controversial and stands up for Israel? It's a shame. Wait, she's controversial because she stands up for Israel in Germany of all places? How is that controversial? What is going on? The most pro-Jewish nation in Europe, well, one of them at least, the top 3 pro-Jewish nation, Germany, they cancelled someone for being pro-Israel. Well, I'll have to do some digging on that. Talk about the wealth and hypocrisy of the Islamic leadership and their families. We could talk about that for hours. Atheists here, I want your people to be successful. I still can't trust Trump. You don't have to trust him. He's the leader of the free world. He'll do whatever he wants to do. Be careful, he's dangerous. He's not dangerous. He's President Trump, for the love of God. I don't think you guys have met anybody dangerous. I can take you to Iran. There's a guy with a big beard. He's dangerous. Not your democratically elected president. I mean, so many deaths when the move should have been done weeks ago. No. That would have been a terrible idea. The people who don't understand geopolitics, let alone the military parts of it, but you don't need to understand military, you just need to understand geopolitics, who are going around saying, now President Trump should have acted last week, 2 weeks ago. Like, really? After the 12-day war, you expect the United States, with limited troops, to just randomly do airstrikes on the IRGC bases or whatever, or some government buildings, and expect to topple the regime. Even right now, with massive mobilization of the troops, it's still a gamble. There is no guarantee. There's still a possibility that the regime might drag this on for centuries. Because they're going to find a way to go on the ground. They're going to find a way to do guerrilla campaigns. And those who say, well, no, let's just, like, we should have attacked them 2 weeks ago. It's not a video game. It doesn't work that way. That's why right now, even right now, you must have, and clearly the White House knows this, you must have different waves of attacks. And they have said that they're considering the first wave to be the ballistic missile and, of course, the nuclear programs. Hit them, destroy them, distraction as well, because they have to go and defend those areas because they really care. While they're doing that, then hit government buildings, maybe send in special forces to do extraction, whatever you want to do. There should be different waves of attacks. Cyber attacks, obviously, bring down the actual infrastructure in Iran. Israelis then could go in afterwards, do whatever they want to do with their targeted assassinations. You can't just drop bombs in Iran and say, well, there we go, we saved the Iranian people. That would have been a terrible idea. Yeah, someone says, this is interesting, the last comment said, Trump is dangerous, but he should have acted. So apparently Trump is dangerous, but you're saying he should have acted sooner? How does that work? How is Trump dangerous? And also, yeah, we should give him more weapons. Where did Tousi say that plane went? Well, it's literally underneath the screen, the bottom of the screen, breaking. Iranian government plane urgently flies to Moscow. And unless you're talking about a different plane. But I think we've only been talking about one plane, the government plane. And also we showed you on the map when it landed. We could go back, by the way, because if you go to Moscow, did they move Moscow? Where does it go? Oh, it's there. I thought they just moved it. If you go here and then play back, what time? 10. Now let's do 9:55, just to be safe. 50. That was too late. Too late. There we go. There we go. That's the plane, which landed. Oh my God. Hang on. It's coming. That's the plane. There we go. Follow this. That's the government plane. Going, landing in Moscow. And it's gone. There we go. Now disappeared. So that was the government plane from Tehran going to Moscow. Now, or as some people in the South, in the US would say, Moscow. I'm not really sure why. Why cow? Moscow. It does sound good though. Moscow. It doesn't sound like Moscow, but yeah. Moscow. So, common words. Shah. Besharam. Ajnabi. Plenty more. All these are the common words between Persian and Hindi. Interesting. Yeah, makes sense. The regime bring in blank frank to the gunfight. Do you accept Bitcoin donations? No, because we are not a charity. We don't do that. You can, but what I suggest, the best thing to do is to become a member of Tousi TV Plus. What is TCTV Plus? Oh, it's here. There we go. You can just scan the QR code or visit Tousi.tv. The link is also in the description. And that's our independent streaming service. Instead of doing charity, we are a business. You get full access to our documentaries, our chat forum, our original series, interviews, podcasts, and everything else. And the Tousi TV app, and also on our website and the app, you could also get access to, throughout the day, to global news. Obviously on on YouTube, we do breaking news live stream, but we still keep you guys posted when it comes to geopolitical news from around the world, the big issues of the day on the news section of the website and the app. Also follow us on X, at Tousi TV Official. That's also a good account to follow for news throughout the day. But if you want to support us and get something out of it, then become a member of Tousi TV Plus. If you scan the QR code or just go on the website, you get 1 month free if you join as an annual member right now. Anyway, going back. Oh, what's that? That is the Deathful plane, isn't it? That is the most annoying thing I've seen. Look at that plane. It's going to disappear in any moment. This plane is extremely irritating me because it's only tracked by satellite. And if you just keep an eye on it for a few minutes, it's going to disappear. It's going to go off radar again. Every night, literally around the same time, it comes on radar and it goes away. It's been doing that for days, which is making me very, very OCD about it. But it's fine. Breathe. Mystery plane of the Islamic Republic. Not really sure what they're up to with that. Let's see how long it's going to be on the radar. Last time I checked, the maximum time was about 5-10 minutes. So we'll give him a few minutes. What's the chance that Ali Khamenei was on that plane? -1. Or like literally we could say 0. No, it's impossible. I do not see why Khamenei will be on that plane. Because number one, it's a government plane. They would not use a government plane to get Ali Khamenei to flee the country. That would be a terrible idea. And 2, if Khamenei flees, the whole regime just collapses because his whole leadership is undermined immediately. He's going to die in Iran. He's either going to be captured or just die because he's old, or just gets killed. Bunker busters, whatever. There's no way. No way. I would eat my hat. I would eat this hat if Khamenei was on that plane. It's a very rough hat. Thanks, Goldie, by the way. Check out Goldie's channel and her shop. Or as Canadians would say, store. Let's see. Lisa says, need crown and lion merch. Do you even have merch? Wow. So it seems like you guys are very much... I appreciate Lisa, and I appreciate every single person. You guys are so... There we go, it's gone. That plane, I swear to... Breathe. It seems like you guys are so committed to Tousi TV. So committed, so loyal, that you are definitely aware of everything we do. We do realize we have everything. All you have to do is just visit Tousi.tv. Seems like nobody's going on the website. I'm going to shut down the website at this point. I don't care. Yes, if you go on the website, and then you get access to our Tousi store, which is it also has its own website, TousieStore.tv. We have some, well, we don't call it merch, but products. And we should be introducing the new Iran collection. And no, it's not going to be one of these because that will be stealing. We're going to do it differently. If you want these, get it from Goldie. But we are going to have some new designs. I wonder if I can show you some of them. Teaser. I'll show you a teaser. Am I allowed to show this? We haven't launched them yet. I don't know if my team are going to tell me off. I'll show you one of them, maybe. My favorite, probably. One of the new designs that I can't find for some reason. That's fun, isn't it? Not good, not good. It's coming. No, that's not what she said. Yes. So, we have the final battle. That should be coming in soon. We also have the Lion Rises. The Lion Rises. And there's also the sun and the lion and sun flag and a couple of other things. So stay tuned. But yes, check out the website. Just go on the website. You get access to our news posts as well. So you can actually stay up to date with everything. And anyway, I know the irony that I said, obviously we say shop in Britain, unlike the North Americans say store, but it's actually called Tousi Store because more international. We're becoming American, get used to it. Tousi, I have been teaching Americans for years how to say Moscow or Moscow. Sometimes we Americans can be a bit stupid. It's not, it's just the accent. It's like when they say Iran. Where did you run to? Why are you running? What are you running? Or again, my favorite is still Moscow. Why is there a cow in Russia? Moscow. It's actually quite endearing. I like it. It's not accurate, but it's endearing. Honest question, what happened to the defections we heard from Pahlavi? how did they support the revolution? I've been asking that for some time as well. So we don't know. We don't know if they've already been doing things. And but there is a possibility that they say that they are just on standby for when they have to come out, which is the end, essentially, for them to come out to finish off the IRGC when they are weakened and then take control of the streets. So there is that possibility. So we just have to wait, I guess. Tousi TV is worth it to finally have a useful Discord. Thank you so much. Also, yeah, that's our private Discord server, our chat forum. If you join Tousi TV Plus, you get access to that too. There is also a possibility, by the way, a dark scenario that the defectors might have been killed. Because while the Islamic Republic are weak as they are now, they still have their intelligence services, and they probably found those who have defected, because they only defected privately. They probably have perhaps found them, and they might have already been killed. But or they're just waiting. We don't know yet. Dragon Land Rover. Dragon Land Rover is owned by an Indian Parsi family. Really? I had no idea. I've been a member of Tousi TV, Tousi TV Plus for 6 months. Best app ever. See, free advertising by our subscribers. Amazing. What's up, my... I'm not saying that. I'm going to say the longer version. What's up, my... Make Iran great again. I said America. I had one job. Russian pronounced Moskva. Moscow. Or as they say in Iran, Moscow. Anyway, so we are not clearly hearing from the president, which is absolutely fascinating. He was supposed to be making his live speech and address from the Oval Office 50 minutes ago. Where is the president? I was panicking. I said, well, I'm going live and the president is about to speak, so he's going to ruin my live stream. And he's now ruining it by making me wait. But it's fine. We're going to come back as we find out what the president is going to be talking about. We are expecting him to discuss the Fed and the economy. Of course, Bitcoin got a bit hit, and the markets are also being observed. Things are about to happen. Anyway, subscribe to the channel. Join Tousi TV Plus. It's not the join button on YouTube. Ignore that. That's controlled by Google on YouTube. You have to go on tousi.tv. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tousi. Smooth. And we are the media.